Inside every human being lives two versions of the self, the one that dreams, that dares, that hungers for greatness, and the one that clings to comfort, fear, and mediocrity. These two versions wrestle with each other every single day, and whichever one you feed, whichever one you nurture, is the one that takes control of your life. The strong version of you, the one that demands discipline, the one that pushes you to endure pain, the one that whispers to get up when you want to stay down, that version is waiting for you to choose it. But there is another, the weaker self, the one that convinces you to hit snooze, the one that tells you tomorrow is fine, the one that makes excuses for every missed opportunity. That weak version of you is seductive because it promises comfort. It lulls you into a false sense of safety. But comfort is a coffin, and every day you live inside it, your potential is dying a slow, silent death. The truth is, the life you desire cannot exist while you allow weakness to rule. You cannot rise to your highest self while you are still carrying the dead weight of excuses, procrastination, and doubt. Weakness is not just a small flaw in your character. It is the chains around your hands. It is the fog in your vision. It is the poison in your spirit. If you let it live, it will rob you of years, rob you of growth, and rob you of the future you are meant to create. And that is why this message is not gentle. It is not soft. It is not a whisper. It is a command. The weak version of you must die. Not tomorrow, not when it feels convenient, but today, right now. Think about it. Every time you delay your goals, every time you allow fear to stop you, every time you say, I'll start later, you hand victory to the weaker self. And the more you surrender, the more that weakness grows. It becomes comfortable to live small, to live invisible, to live silent. But deep down, you know the truth. You were not created to blend in. You were not born to stay in the shadows. There's a version of you that knows you are capable of more, and it is calling you. That call is not polite. It is urgent. It is the voice inside you that says, enough. Stand up. Take control. This is the moment to confront yourself without lies, without excuses, without masks. Look yourself in the mirror and admit it. If you want to rise, if you want to conquer, if you want to live a life with remembering, you cannot carry weakness any longer. You must bury it. You must kill it. You must choke the air out of it so it never has a chance to control you again. This is not about wishing. It is not about hoping. It is about declaring war on a version of yourself that has been holding you hostage. The war begins with a decision, and the decision begins now. The weak version of you will beg to stay alive. It will remind you how comfortable it feels, how easy it is, how safe it is to remain the same. But you must refuse, because that weak version has already stolen up from you your energy, your confidence, your years. It does not deserve another second of your life. The strong version of you is not far away. It is not unreachable. It is standing in the shadows waiting for you to choose it. But it cannot emerge until the weak self is destroyed. And that destruction begins the moment you stop giving in to the lies of comfort and start commanding your life with discipline. This is the call to rise. This is the call to execute. This is the command to kill that weak version of yourself so the real you can finally breathe. The greatest enemy you will ever face is not out there in the world. It is not your boss, not your rivals, not the people who doubt you or try to stand in your way. The greatest enemy lives inside you. It is the weak version of yourself, the one that constantly whispers excuses into your mind. It is the voice that tells you to stay comfortable, to stay safe, to avoid the hard path. It is the part of you that dreads change, that fears risk, and that convinces you that average is good enough. This enemy does not shout. It creeps in quietly. It disguises itself as logic, telling you, why work so hard when you can relax? Why push yourself when you've already done enough? It hides inside procrastination, inside hesitation, inside doubt. It is subtle, but it is lethal. Because every time you choose that weaker voice, every time you give it control, you lose a piece of your future. Weakness thrives on comfort. It feeds on the moments when you settle, when you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. And the more you allow it to live, the stronger it becomes. It takes root in your daily choices. It makes you a slave to routine, a prisoner to fear. What most people don't realize is that weakness does not destroy you in one dramatic moment. It destroys you slowly, quietly, in the little decisions you make every day. It convinces you that scrolling on your phone is harmless, that skipping one workout is fine, that staying in your comfort zone is reasonable. But what it is really doing is stealing the life you could have lived. It is robbing you of strength, discipline, and growth, and it is doing it so gently that you don't even see it happening until years have passed and regret stares you in the face. The enemy within is not to be underestimated. It knows you better than anyone else because it is part of you. It knows your fears, your weaknesses, your temptations, and it uses them against you. That is why you cannot negotiate with it. You cannot reason with it. You cannot allow it even the smallest victory. Because the weak self, once given space, once given air, will grow into a monster that devours everything you could have been. This is why the battle must be ruthless. You must learn to identify the lies of weakness the moment they appear, and you must crush them before they take root. Oh, because if you don't, that enemy inside will gladly run your life for you, and it will run it straight into mediocrity. Weakness always demands a price, and the cost is higher than most people are willing to admit. The danger of weakness is that it doesn't bankrupt you all at once. It drains you slowly, day after day, until you wake up one morning and realize years have slipped through your fingers. Think of the goals you've set but never reached, the promises you made to yourself but never kept, the dreams you once carried that now feel distant and impossible. Every unfulfilled dream carries the fingerprints of weakness. Every regret is born from moments when the weaker self won. The price is wasted time, and wasted time can never be bought back. Weakness convinces you that you have endless tomorrows, but the truth is, your tomorrows are running out. Each day you let weakness dictate your actions, you are losing opportunities you will never see again. What makes weakness so dangerous is that it disguises itself as relief. It tells you rest a little more, delay just one more day, avoid this challenge because it's too uncomfortable. And while you surrender to that comfort, your potential rots in silence. You start to notice the symptoms: lack of energy, lack of confidence, lack of purpose. Life begins to feel dull, repetitive, meaningless. And deep inside, you know the reason. You know that you were capable of more, but you let weakness steal your fire. That realization is one of the heaviest burdens a human being can carry. The knowledge that you settled, that you gave in, that you traded greatness for comfort. This is the true cost of weakness, living a life filled with regret, a life that could have been extraordinary, but instead became average. The price of weakness is not only paid by you, it is paid by the people around you. When you let weakness rule, you rob your family of the best version of you. You rob the world of your gifts, your talent, your impact. Weakness is selfish because it convinces you to choose what is easy in the moment. But what is easy now always creates hardship later. Comfort now leads to struggle later. Delay now leads to regret later. And regret is the heaviest chain you will ever carry because it cannot be broken. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can stop adding to the pile of regrets by refusing to let weakness charge you another day of your life. The price of weakness is too high, and the only way to stop paying it is to kill it once and for all. Inside you, beneath the layers of hesitation, doubt, and excuses, lies a stronger version of yourself that has been waiting for years to emerge. This version is disciplined, relentless, unshakable. It does not make excuses. It does not bow to fear. It does not negotiate with laziness. It is a self that shows up when you silence distractions, when you stop lying to yourself, when you demand more. The strong self is not imaginary. It is real. It is already there, buried under the weak habits you've allowed to dominate. Think of the times you have pushed yourself beyond limits. The moments you proved to yourself that you could endure, achieve, and rise. That was the strong version taking over. The problem is you haven't allowed it to stay. You let weakness reclaim control. But every time you push forward despite pain, every time you ignored excuses and chose discipline, you caught a glimpse of what you could truly become. That version is still inside you, waiting for you to stop hiding it. The strong self thrives on the very things the weak self runs from. Oh, it craves discipline, thrives on sacrifice, grows stronger in the face of discomfort. While weakness feeds on comfort, the strong version feeds on struggle. It uses pressure as fuel. It sees pain as proof of growth. It understands that transformation is not a gift, but a price that must be paid daily. And here's the truth. The strong self does not require anything outside of you. It does not need approval, applause, or permission. It needs only your decision. The moment you choose discipline over distraction, consistency over comfort, courage over fear, you unlock that stronger self. It is not a distant dream. It is a reality waiting for your command. But the strong version will not fight its way to the surface without your help. It will not override your excuses unless you starve those excuses. It will not rise unless you make space for it by killing the weak version that occupies your daily choices. Imagine the life that version could build. The body, the mind, the relationships, the success. Imagine the respect you would earn, the confidence you would carry, the impact you would make if the strong self became the only self. That vision is not impossible. It is the life waiting for you when you finally decide to let the stronger version lead. The question is simple. Will you keep letting weakness rule, or will you finally unleash the strength that has been waiting inside you all along? There comes a moment when words are no longer enough, when plans and promises mean nothing, and only action can decide who you truly are. And that moment is now. The weak version of you cannot be reasoned with. It cannot be gently convinced to leave. It must be executed. It must be destroyed with deliberate, ruthless action. Because weakness has lived too long inside you, feeding on your comfort, thriving on your hesitation. It has taken enough time, stolen enough energy, wasted enough opportunities. The only way forward is war. You cannot negotiate with weakness. You cannot make peace with it. Because every time you give it another chance, it will take everything from you. The execution must be absolute. You must starve it by refusing to give in to excuses. You must silence it by refusing to listen to its lies. You must choke it out with discipline until it has no air left to breathe. The execution of weakness happens in small moments. The decision to rise when your body begs for more sleep. The decision to push forward when your mind tells you to quit. The decision to do the work when distractions surround you. Every one of these choices is a weapon. Every act of discipline is another strike against weakness. You kill the weak version, not in one dramatic gesture, but in the daily execution of strength. Each time you choose courage over fear, each time you choose effort over excuses, you are burying weakness deeper and deeper until it no longer has control over you. This is not a one-time act, it is a daily execution. Weakness will always attempt to rise again, but you must be relentless in putting it down. Do not wait for motivation, because motivation is fleeting. Do not wait for the perfect time, because the perfect time never comes. The moment of execution is always now. The strong self is built in this moment, right here, in the decision you make today. Weakness will beg you to delay, to soften, to compromise. But you cannot give it another second. You must be merciless. Kill that weak version of yourself today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because only in its death can your strongest self begin to live.